We will now like to bring up our friend, Congressman Danny K. Davis.
Well, you know, I almost got kind of emotional in terms of remembering and how meaningful the fact that all of you are here and the fact that you come to endorse my re-election efforts. And as you spoke, I was thinking Alderman Lee and I have been together all weekend.
Yes, we have.
I mean, we have seen thousands of people this weekend. And it's been such a pleasure to see the Asian American community celebrate the new year and celebrate the importance of their presence as a part of this great nation of ours. So yes, it has indeed been my pleasure to work with the people from Asia, but to work especially in Chinatown. I take my hat off to the business people in the Chinese American community known as Chinatown, who have survived the pandemic. Most of the businesses there are food-oriented, hospitality-oriented, and people were constrained, couldn't go out, couldn't go in. Those merchants and the people there have stuck together. They survived the pandemic. They survived the inopportunity for people had to go out and enjoy themselves or have food. And I commend them. I can't think of any business community anywhere in America that stuck together more effectively than the Chinese American community here in Chinatown. So thank you, Alderman Lee, for your kind words. Thank you for your support. I also, as I listened, I had no idea that a young businessman would remember all the things that he remembers. And I said to myself when I met him, and he says, I think I'll do politics too. I said to myself, here's a person who is really interested in the broad spectrum of what being a public servant, a publicly engaged individual ought to be. And so not only an outstanding business person, but an outstanding community leader who did bring tremendous amounts of money for a new service to the district that he represented. I remember it well. I remember all of those things, and I thank you for your engagement, your involvement, and the leadership that you've shown in bringing all of us together. So thank you. I listened to Alderman Villegas. You know, no man is an island unto his or herself. And so there are many people who wonder why the United States would be so engaged, so involved, and so concerned about Ukraine. I happen to have visited Ukraine many years ago and saw the work of the people, saw what the people were doing. I also represent the area known as Ukrainian Village. We represent the area known as Ukrainian Village. Right now, we are in serious need of some movement. We need to move our counterparts in the House of Representatives. We need to move the Republicans who are holding up the process and holding up the aid. And so for an alderman who may not have a vote on any of that, but for an alderman who recognizes the passion, the recognition of the feeling people have about their homeland, where they come from, how much a part of their being that it is. Gil, I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for your leadership and thank you for what you do. It is so good to know that there's a young alderman out in the 6th Ward, out in what used to be known as the Black Ward in the city of Chicago, where all my friends, the Sawyers and the Steels, and all of those individuals have been out there for years and years, even back when Miller was the alderman. And not to mention the funeral homes and the funeral directors who were the aldermen and leaders of that community. But an area that has fallen on renewal opportunities with a new alderman. Not a lot of it is in my district, but it doesn't matter about how much is in my district because all of us are in this together. It's no single entity. It's no single part of town. It's the whole, the wholeness of America. Out from many comes one. So Alderman Hall, I want to thank you for your leadership. It was a pleasure to be with you a little while ago over at the Taylor Funeral Home as we reminisced and as we paid tribute to one of our outstanding business and civic leaders in Chicago. Of course, Rudy Lozano and I, you're right. Emma was in my office last week bringing a group from LULAC, and they were there advocating, lobbying, pushing the agenda, making sure that Congress understood as much as it will understand about immigration and the impact of our immigration problems and issues facing America. And it has been my good pleasure. I used to live in almost the little village community. And so, yes, it's been my pleasure to watch as the Latino community there came into its own, and provided the leadership that is needed. I can't thank you enough, and I can't forget all the wonderful times that we've had over the years. Coming home to Emma Mitch, Emma, you have been a brightness for those of us in the immediate community where I live, in the Austin area and on the west side of Chicago. Your leadership has helped us develop a level of cohesiveness that I would hope we would continue to enjoy and to have. Unfortunately, this is a very divisive election for our immediate community. Very divisive. But you know, things happen and they go on and they go on. And I've always admired people who were ambitious, and you need to be ambitious in order to move, but you also need to be logical. You need to be rational, and you need to understand. You don't need to be greedy, and you just be ambitious. The realities are these are some tough times for our country. And I'm running for re-election. I'm not running for the Olympics. I'm not running to be the quarterback for the Chicago Bears. I ain't running for that. I'm not running to be the fastest swimmer in the pool. No, I'm running to make use of the years of experience, the years of understanding, the years of progress, the years of movement, We have one of the most fantastic pieces of geography in North America called a congressional district. Greek town, Ukrainian village, Little Italy, Bronzeville, Soulville, city, suburbs, every kind of person, all kinds of people, more institutions, 23 outstanding hospitals, 4 medical schools, more of what is called federally qualified health centers than you find anywhere in America, except maybe in the Boston area, because Senator Ted Kennedy was such an influence and an impact on the development of these. And then for people, if they don't know it, Boston is really where public health got started. I call it the public health place. And of course, New York, the place where clinics got started. But we also have a plethora of universities, colleges, institutions of higher learning. Our area has gotten more than $60 billion just for health and social services from the federal government in the last 10 years. We have now a cure for sickle cell anemia. We just haven't figured out how to actually do it. We've been fortunate to be at the table with the individuals who made it happen. I was just in a meeting last week with Secretary Becerra and with the health center community from Illinois, and they have a great deal to be proud of. I picked up the Chicago Sun-Times today, and a letter to the editor says a permanent Illinois child tax credit would put a serious dent in poverty. Well, 2-3 years ago, we reduced child poverty in the United States of America by 50%. By 50% with the child tax credit, where every child in the country, if they were under 5 years old and their parents didn't make $75,000 as a single person or $150,000 as a married couple or 2 people filing income tax, they got $300 every month that year for every child they had that age. Didn't even have to apply for it. All they had to do was have a bank account that the money could have been sent to. Of course, the Republicans didn't let that last but 1 year. But there's a good possibility that if we retain the Senate, re-elect the president, and take back the House, we could make that permanent. We could make it where it wouldn't be just for 1 year. I'm heavily engaged in child welfare. Yeah, I do have seniority. I'm number 25 out of 435. Really number 24. I'm number 7 in seniority among Democrats on the Ways and Means Committee, which is considered the most powerful committee in the House. And that's because we are the tax writing committee. We have to decide how to pay for whatever it is that government does at the federal level. So I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, again. I thank you so much for your faith, your belief, and for your understanding of the reality. I only say to the voters of the 7th District that no matter who is running, there's only one way to get seniority, and that's to be there. There's no other way to get it. We're making serious progress. I want to see Democrats win from top to bottom. We have a great governor in the state of Illinois. We have a super county board government led by Tony Preckwinkle. We have a city of Chicago with all of these outstanding aldermen, and I can't thank you all again enough. So thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.